Are you in Austin right now, or are you in Midland?
Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been to Midland for quite some time. Um, so how is the market? I know the oil is going up and slowly things are changing. What all do you guys see jobs coming or what's happening?
My rental prices really haven't dropped. I read in the paper about 3 weeks ago that Midland, Odessa, over the last year has the two highest drop in rental prices in the last year. Now, I haven't seen it personally, but I had mine about in the middle of the road, so there's a big buffer for me to have, and people are still comfortable in them. I'm about to. Oh, 6:30. Okay. Well, now I'll tell you the story. Some of you may have clocked in to hear the story of what went on with me different in the rental. We get a call Thursday. I mean, I think it's the Thursday before Christmas. No, before the Thursday before New Year's. Was New Year's Eve a Thursday? It was whatever New Year's Eve was. And I get a call a guy came by at 9 in the morning and said, hey, Sam's been shot. He's in the hospital and they don't think he's going to live. And he said that he was trying to help this woman out, and some guy came up that was having an argument with her and shot both of them and killed her and shot him and put him in the hospital. So I thought, wow, that's bad. And we tried to get news on him, but nobody would give us news. Then about 4 that afternoon, I get a call, and it's from another one of my renters, and said, hey, somebody I never heard of said they called and said that Sarah's been shot and killed. And so I called up the guy, and it was her that the other guy, Sam, was trying to help out. And there's some jealous guy that didn't like her having a boyfriend slash, they were living together, and they weren't married, but been together for 4 years, and he killed her. And so the reason I told people that if they're interested, come in, is because that night, I went to bed, and then the next morning I realized, hey, wait, I'm a landlord. There's stuff in the lease that says I got to do certain things. So I called up, I looked in the lease and found out that in the lease it said that if something happened to her, call her sister or her mom. And so I called the sister, thinking the sister probably would be less emotional. And plus, she had always told me her one sister was very much like her, very organized. And whenever Sarah needed anything, she always called that sister. And so I called them, and mainly I was concerned about the stuff in the apartment, because this guy, Ray, that I called back, evidently he'd been living in the place for 4 years with another person, and I didn't know about them. So I didn't want them, taking stuff. I went over there to the mom's house, and we spent about, 2 hours just crying and laughing and joking back and forth. And Ray, the boyfriend, was there. Etel showed up. That's the other one that was in the apartment. And I didn't know anything about them. Sarah always paid on time. She always fixed up the place. She took good care of it. So, as long as she was taking care of it, I really didn't care who was in it. But then I realized I had a problem. I've got people in there that don't have a lease. And Jack Miller one time said, he told me a story. And from that, if you ever have a situation where you buy a property or you get a property and there's people in it that don't have a lease, get them on a lease. Go over and talk to them. And even if you have to, if they say, well, I can't afford a lease, that would be too much. Say, well, what can you afford? If they say $200 a month, say, well, my boss may be mad, but I'll do that. And sign them on a lease for $200 a month. And make sure in the lease it says that it's a month-to-month lease, because it's easier to evict somebody if you've got on a lease than it is if they have no lease, because then they can claim they own it. They can be squatters' right. There's all sorts of legal stuff that you don't want to have to work through. Whereas if you're there on a leash, you just take them to court and run it through the court system as, you know, an eviction. So that's what I did. I got them on a 1 month lease at the end of this month. I do think I really want to keep them in there because one guy works for the man camp that's just south of 20 on La Mesa. So that means he's a real good handyman. And the other girl, him and her get along together, and together they can afford the thing. And she wants to live in there forever. She doesn't want to move. So that's kind of people I look for, is people who want to be in there long term. So that's an interesting story that I thought other people that are landlords might want to hear, that, you know, it didn't dawn on me until the next day that, hey, I had responsibilities as a landlord. I better read that lease and find out what it says that I need to do.
Cool.
Are the other two guys doing okay? They got shot?
There was only one other guy. And the reason I called up the hospital, you know, trying to find out, and you know who Sam is, right, James?
Yeah.
The one that did the air conditioner, yeah.
Yeah.
And Marcus is the one that came by and told us that he was in the hospital. And I called up like the day after, because we were all trying to get information, and called up and they said, there's nobody like that. And I knew as bad as he was hurt, that if they had nobody in there like that, that he died. And so I asked Steve, I said, should we call Marcus and let him know? Or should we just, you know, hold off? And later that day, Marcus had gotten contact with a cousin that's in California. And the cousin said that you have to have a special password to find out information, because they were afraid the guy was going to come up there and try to kill him. And that's why they weren't giving any information out. And then why, when I called up, they said, oh, there's nobody like that in the hospital, because they thought maybe I was the guy, and because he's still on the run. They haven't caught the killer.
Crazy people. People. Anyway.
Yeah. I cried a lot. I really liked Sarah. And it didn't hit me until late that afternoon. You know, it's New Year's Eve night. My son was here with his girlfriend. They both live here in town. The one from college, you know, he was just staying at our house. And the girlfriend was staying at her house. And I called him up and said, hey, bud, do you still not have plans for tonight? And he said, yeah. I said, well, if you don't mind, could you come over and with Savannah and let's just play a game? And I didn't need to be distracted tonight. And when he said, why, Dad? Because he could tell I don't ask for something like that. I don't ask him for stuff. And when I asked for that, he knew something was wrong. And I went to tell him, and I couldn't talk for about 5 minutes. I was just crying. I couldn't talk. Yeah. It was very, very sad. Everybody, I'm going to interrupt here. I see Ralph is in here. He had a 6 o'clock closing, so until he showed up, I didn't try to start the meeting. But I saw he just clocked in. Ralph, I made you co-host, so you have controls over stuff. You can unmute yourself, and I'll just go through the preliminaries. Does anybody here have a 1 minute deal, some kind of deal that you want to tell the group about? If you do, unmute yourself and tell the group. Okay.
Could this be like a upcoming possible deal, like not a deal that's already happened?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at this house, and it's right outside of the Loop in Midlands. It's from a wholesaler, so that they've got it under contract for like $80,000, and he's trying to wholesale it to me for $100,000. So it's pretty big wholesale fee there for him, I guess. But I'm going to look at it tomorrow, so I haven't seen it. But it looks like they've already remodeled the kitchen and a bathroom, and I think it needs some more remodeling. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet. But But the cool thing about it is it's got 3 RV spaces that they put in. So I don't know anything about renting RV spaces or anything, but I know that they command a pretty high price, like, you know, $600 a month or whatever, just to park your RV there. So I guess that's kind of the upside. And I don't know if anybody has any experience or insight on renting out RV spaces in Midland, but.
Well, text me after we're finished, because I know quite a few RV people that, you know, rent in the area, and they can tell you some information that, you know, I wouldn't have. The thoughts for the day: if no problems, no profits. So find people with problems, fix their problems, and then you can get profits. The book of the month is Eat More Chicken, is by Truett Cathy. It's not a real estate book, but it was a very interesting book to see how he started Chick-fil-A and how he made it grow. And it's an old book. You can only get it in book form. It's not an Audible. I actually had to buy it. I don't like buying books because then I have to read them. I don't have a lot of time. But I was so interested in his story that I went ahead and bought the book. If anybody here that, if you know of a speaker or a subject that you're interested in, let me know. I kept hearing a lot of people come up to me and ask about wholesaling. That's probably my number one question. So I've been listening the last 6 months or so to find a wholesaler that I thought was good. And in March, you'll see on I think I got listed. Maybe I don't have it listed yet. I think I do, though, on the meetup page. Adam Johnson is going to speak, and probably his partner, but maybe not. They have other regular Tuesday night stuff that they do. And so I'm not sure if both of them will be there or not. The reason I listen to them is I don't want to be a wholesaler, but they have the same style of talking to sellers as I do. You know, I try to hone in on what the problem is and try to fix their problems. And they do that very well. They're from the old style. Jack Miller, Jimmy Napier, David Tilney, all those, I call them the Florida boys. And they all did that type of style. They had way out of the box ways of putting deals together. And if you just listen to people that are like that, you'll learn a lot about how to help people and how to close deals. And that's the number one thing is figuring out what they need and helping them. Let's see. No one here is giving legal, accounting, or professional advice. Ralph, are you unmuted right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me how to say your last name. I always have trouble with it.
Yeah, don't worry. I have a slide for that.
What's that?
I have a slide for that. I have it's let me see if I can share this. But anyways, I'll say my last name. I have a slide for that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can I take this real quick? Just
Yes. That's why you're the co-host, so you can control the screen and do what you need to do. Well, while he's doing that, I'll tell you a little bit more about Ralph. He's from another country. He has a slight accent. With my hard of hearing, sometimes it's hard for me to hear him. But he's a great guy. He's been in the group, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, maybe more. He's been here a long time, so he's not a come today and gone tomorrow person. He's somebody that's going to be here long term. He buys properties in Midland. I'm not sure about Odessa. And he only does the work with contractors. So, you know, he's very smart, and I think y'all will enjoy the information that he gives you. Go ahead, Ralph. You've got it.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. My name is Ralph Okugbere. Obviously, I'm not from here. I wasn't born in the US. Let me see if I can share this real quick. Kind of putting some slides together in the last 15 minutes. All right, so that's my name. So Lee, you were saying something about my last name. So it
Yeah.
sounds like Okugbere. So, but it's actually Okugbere. So, but it sounds like Okugbere. So if you call me Okugbere, it's fine. I mean, you should be fine if you call me Okugbere. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, and I have a first degree in mechanical engineering in 1999. My major was in automotive engineering technology. I have pretty much 16 years working in the oil field. I worked in the oil field for 16 years. My first 2 years, I worked as a QA/QC engineer for a company, a French company called Nisco. It was based out of Port Harcourt. Then the next 14 years was worked with Schlumberger. I worked with Schlumberger for 14 years, and 7 years out of those 14 years was in the Permian Basin. Yeah, I worked in the Permian Basin for about 7 years before I worked overseas and various job positions and got transferred overseas. And so I'll try to speak as slowly as I can. I know some of you might have a little bit of difficulty understanding me, but in 2019, I had a second degree, had my MBA in UTPB, and with a major in management. That's pretty much about me. I can't think of anything I've not covered. Lee, is there anything else you want me to cover? I mean, that's pretty much about me. Oh, well, I'm a father. I'm married I've been married for 17 years now. And my son is going to be 16 years in the next 2 months. And he was actually born in Midland. So I've been in Midland for a while now. So I've been in Midland forever. So I've been in Midland for more than 16 years. So this is more like home to me. I moved to the US in 2002, in October of 2002, and I'm married in 2014. So that's the story of my life. All right, guys. I thought I was going to get a high five or something like that. Lee, why did you mute everybody?
You've got everybody here blocked off, so go ahead.
Okay, so
how you got into real estate and how you decided to do the actual thing. I know you're in Fortune Builders, so you might tell them part of that story.
Yeah, yes, sir. So I think that's my next slide right there. So my real estate adventure, basically. So this is my real estate adventure. So I've never had any experience in real estate. I've never even changed a tile or done anything before in real estate before in my life. I mean, except for about 10 years ago, and actually exactly 10 years ago, we bought a house, this house we're living in right now. So, I mean, that's the only experience I had in real estate. I've never read any book about real estate before. So growing up as a child, my parents just told me, like, you have to go to school, you have to read hard, you have to be educated, you have to have a good job. That's all I know about. And I mean, and I did that, I went to school, I had a good degree, I had a good grade, landed me my first job, right after college, But I mean, I worked, I worked in the ranks, I climbed up the, how do you say it?
Corporate ladder?
Corporate ladder, basically, yeah. Thank you, Lee. So I climbed up a little bit in the corporate ladder, was a manager, was a supervisor, was a field test coordinator, was so many things, Then went back to the field again, when it slowed down in 2019. So I went back to the field again. But anyways, it's my 16 years working in the in the oil field actually helped shape my life what it is right now. But it's not easy. But anyways, in 2015, when I got laid off, so I initially didn't get laid off, when I was working with Slum Major. So they put me on what they call a leave of absence. So I was just sitting down at home. So prior to that, I was working overseas. And 2 years prior to that, around 2013, my schedule got better. I was working a 7 weeks on schedule and a 3 weeks off schedule. So basically I was overseas for like 7 weeks and I'll come back home, spend 3 weeks there and go back to work again. But before that, in 2019, when it slowed down, 2009, when it slowed down, when I got transferred overseas, my schedule was pretty rough. Sometimes I was gone for like 6 months. Sometimes I was gone for like 5 months. That means I was away from my family. So I had any prior knowledge about real estate. So in 2015, when they told me to, my company told me to stay home, like I was going to be called back when things picked up. So I was home for 5 straight months, and I really enjoyed it. I was with my family, with my kids. I was, taking my kids to school every day. Doing homework and doing all this. And I just started reflecting about my life, So I just kind of enjoyed, just kind of staying home. As of then, in my 12 or 13 years in marriage, then, I've never had the opportunity. I've never been home that long. Usually I was home for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but I've never been home, staying with the family that long. Enjoyed it, So I told my wife, like, I don't think I was going to go back to work. And she was like, so what are you going to do? Not going to go back to work? I was like, I don't think. I just like just being around, just being with. But anyways, so I started thinking of so many things to do, so that's how I got into real estate. It says my internet is unstable. So but long story short, that's how I got into real estate. So I got this advertisement on the radio or maybe on Facebook or Instagram. I remember how I saw it. So I went to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, like this free seminar first, something like that. And I just didn't like it, So then I saw this other one on Facebook, Fortune Builder, then I went to their free seminar. It was like a 2-hour seminar. And that was like, so the speaker, the guy that spoke, what he was saying actually made a lot of sense to me, So I paid an extra $120 to go for another 3-day seminar. So during the 3-day seminar, during the 3-day seminar, it was kind of a lot of information, like I was like, my head was kind of really big with, they had like so much information for me, like, how I think I would be able to better my life, but in between, I think at the end of the second day during the 3-day seminar, they started talking about money. This huge sum of money. So long story short, I came back home and I had like 3 sheets of paper like this. One of them was like $29,000, the other one $35,000, the other one $50,000, and kind of pissed off, So I showed it to my wife, and my wife was like, so what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. I can't pay this money. It's too much. And she was like, well, read through some of the stuff and tell me what you can do by yourself. And so some of the stuff it's inside, that I'm paying for. And I read through them, I couldn't do any of them, And my wife just kind of advised me, you're going to have to go pay and go do it. So I was like, what? You mean I have to pay this? But that's how I stumbled into real estate, So I paid the money. My wife kind of actually forced my hand, to do that, because she just told me like, you can't just sitting down doing nothing, So I was like, looking back right now, I'm kind of glad she did, because that's pretty much, how my real estate career started. without, kind of knowing anything about real estate. So that's it. How I joined Fortune Builder. But so as you guys can see on the slide, I joined Fortune Builder in July 2nd of 2017, and I didn't get my first deal till like almost a year and a half till like December of 2018. So in between that, I was going to a lot of boot camps, training, studying, learning everything I could learn about real estate. So in between that, I met Steve, met a lot of guys in this group, so, and which kind of helped me. But the biggest challenge, some of the reasons, why we're discussing this is, everything I'm talking about, you might kind of appeal to you, but it might just be just one thing, just one thing, you can just grab that might just change your life, So, I just pray, my prayer for you guys today is, hopefully, I say the right thing and you hear the right thing that is probably going to change your life, change your business, and change the way you do things. So basically, after paying all that big money, Fortune Builder is more like a consulting company. They helped me structure my business, helped me set up a website and everything. But all that still didn't give me a deal. I was getting deals, they were slipping off my hands. I lost my first deal because of $1,000. I lost my second deal because of $5,000. I lost my third deal because of $3,000. I was pissed off. I was depressed. I quit. My wife got me back again. I quit. My wife got me back again. I quit so many times. My wife got me back. So, but looking back right now, it took me a while because inside there, my mindset is so stuck with the employee kind of mindset. My mindset is so stuck with the employee kind of mentality, I was someone that was working for 16 years, that was used to getting paycheck every 2 weeks. So, right now the paycheck is gone, so I couldn't wrap my head around it. And all my savings, everything, it's like flying out in my front, like just going away, like with the speed of light, so all I was doing was like minus, negative, minus, nothing coming in at all. It was really depressing. So this is what I tell people, the best time to start any business, the best time to start anything you're doing is when you have a job. Please don't be like me. It's really depressing and so frustrating when I got started because I didn't actually have a job, and my wife was working, but it's some of the men here in the house can attest to me. With what I'm saying, it's when as a man in the house you can't provide for the family, you just kind of those things just kind of stress you out, But my wife was really helping. But anyways, so I couldn't. So as soon as it took just one, I think if I remember correctly, it was sometime around July or August. We had a section, the REA group in Odessa. We had one speaker. So the speakers mentioned just one thing. He mentioned one thing. I don't know if some of you guys were there. He made an analogy about a bottle of water, being sold for like $10 or $20 or something. He bought a bottle of water for like $10. And if I think his right word was like, if this bottle of water sells for $20 and you can buy it for $10. So what's your return on investment if you sell it for $20? Like you buy it for $10 and you sell it for $20. That was his right words, So that kind of changed my life forever. I had never thought about real estate like buying and selling before. I've never thought about real estate about buying something at a certain price and selling at a certain price. So I just started pondering about it, and not even up to some few weeks later, I went to a real estate convention in Vegas. And I was right there in the convention, and I'd gone to the convention the previous year, And I was right there in the convention. I was like, okay. Like everything just kind of came together and everything just kind of clicked. And when it clicked, I went from someone that didn't have a deal to someone that had 5 deals in the span of 3 months or something, you know. So that was it, you know. I mean, so I just hopefully, you know, like something just clicked for you guys. I mean, if you know something is not working for you in this business, I just hope something clicks for you. So so the way I was trained is I stumbled about when I was in Fortune Builder. You know, they show us this slide a lot. I don't know if you guys seen or read the E-Myth book. I think it was by what's this guy's name again?
Michael Gerber.
Yeah, Michael Gerber. Yeah. So Mike Gerber. So when I went to Fortune Builder, you know, this was the very first thing they showed me, you know, like, the E-Myth pyramid, you know, the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur, you know. And when I saw this, you know, they kind of explained through this, you know. I've actually not read the book, but I've read the summary. And but the model which Fortune Builder was is to make sure they use your contractor to do most of their work, so that way they can get to so many deals, you know, in a short period of time, you know. So as a businessman, you know, we hope to, you know, to be an entrepreneur, to be the number one right there in this slide. But right now, the way my business is modeled, I'm number 2 right now. But most guys I see in the real group, that most of them are in number 3 position, you know. So that comes to this slide that says, this is by Michael Gerber. It says, if your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job. And it's the worst job in the world because you are working for a lunatic. So that is his quote, you know, not me. Don't hold me responsible, please. That is his quote. So when I saw that quote, I read it in the summary. I was like, well, I've had a job for 16 years and I don't want to have another job. So I want to own a business, you know. So, and that's my goal, you know, to really own a business, you know. So my being a manager right now, it's I'm working up to be, you know, an entrepreneur. So last year, so a few months ago, I had another business partner that it seems like he has tons of cash. He has a lot of cash. So it's kind of leveraging my experience. And now we have another addition, you know, like an employee, like an acquisition manager, you know, someone that is going to be, you know, getting the deals for us, you know, so that way. So an hour ago, I actually just closed on another day. I just had a contract signed on one house that somebody had met me May of 2019 that she wanted to sell her house, but then she wasn't ready. She just called me last week and told me, Ralph, I'm ready to sell my house. So I just signed the contract about an hour ago before I started doing this, you know. So that's pretty much what I have to say. So the challenges, the major challenges I have is just, to be honest with you, is just my mindset to shift from that employee mentality to the entrepreneurial kind of mentality. I've never had any business experience before, but luckily, to the glory of God, my wife has always been someone that never liked working for anybody. She's tried in all her life, you know, to be by herself. You know, she does a lot of business. She has, like, my wife is a ton of things. Like, she does like 1 million things, and she's good at everything she does. You know, so I mean, without her, I don't even think I'll be here talking to you guys today. So currently, right now, we have 2 properties on the market. We're looking to list. We're finishing up 2 right now. We're looking to have one on the market next week. And I have the second one. No, we're supposed to have one listed this week. I have the third one listed this week, and I have the fourth one listed by next week. And we'll just sign on that contract again. So that is my story. I think, I don't know if that's going to help. I'm open to any question right now.
Hey, Ralph, how's it going?
Good. What's up, Eric?
Oh, not too much, not too much. Hey, so do you got like a goal set of how many houses you're trying to flip this year, or is it
That's
all
a very good
dependent?
question. Last year the plan was to triple. No, so last year was 2020. So the goal for our 2020 was to triple everything we did for 2019, and the year it's really started promising. Like the first 3 months really started promising because we're actually on the pace and achieving that until COVID struck. So I think first 3 months of last year, we got about 3 properties, so we're actually on track, to triple what we did for 2019. That was our goal. But when COVID struck, I mean, it kind of, ruined everything because we only ended up selling one house. Like that was the very first house, the very first deal, like my very first deal, which was in 2018. We tore it down and rebuilt it from scratch, which was like a brand new construction. So we sold it in almost I think the final week of January of last year. So that kind of ruined everything. So that was the only sale we had last year because of COVID. So things kind of slowed down.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
the goal this year is, to have the same goal like last year, but we just signed a contract right now. I'm going to be taking the contract to the title company. So we have like an acquisition manager. So we're going to be aggressive this year. So
Yeah.
there's I won't say there is no like a set goal, but as much as we can.
Yeah. Whatever comes your way and whatever fits your criteria.
Yes, sir.
I got you.
Hello, hi Ralph.
Hi, David.
Hey, my name is David. Nice to meet you. Well, I have a question about how you get your leads for your flips. Do you do any marketing? How much do you spend on marketing? And
That's a very good question. So when I started the real estate business, I spent I think I was spending probably about average of about $1,000 a month for marketing. In 2017 and the earlier part of 2018, I was spending about maybe $1,000 monthly. Bandit sign, mails, whatever. Like I was into everything. I was even paying some company for marketing too. But initially it didn't look like it was working. But when I I was getting leads. Not like I wasn't getting leads, but the only thing is when I got started, the experience wasn't there, and I was like really, how will I say it? Like, really into the books, like, it has to be exactly the way I was told, so I was not picky, but
Gun shy.
if it's not in the, if it's not within the price range. So I didn't know that markets are different, it has to be exactly the way I was taught. I didn't know market, the Permian Basin or the Midland market was kind of unique, so if it's not, so that's why, if you guys remember, I said I missed my first deal because of $1,000. The lady actually contacted me on Facebook through my marketing, and she told me she wanted to sell the house for, she just lost her husband and or whatnot, and she wants to move to Houston. And somebody got the house under contract and tried to wholesale the house for like a month and couldn't wholesale the house. and she contacted me and she wanted to sell the house for $23,000. And I was so bent on, man, it has to work for 22. You have to sell it for 22. And she just sold this for someone else for 24,000. So, I mean, that's how it goes. Hey, Zach, I haven't seen you in a while.
Wow.
What's up, Ralph? How you doing, buddy?
Good. That's my MBA classmate.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good to hear from you too, man. Any question, guys? Keep the questions coming. I mean, I have so many things to say, but I actually don't know. I mean,
I have a question. I don't know if you covered it, but I might have missed it. How are you finding these deals in Midland?
oh, okay. As I said, like the contract I just signed like an hour ago was someone that contacted me about almost 2 years ago. I think it was, when I checked my record, it was actually May of 2019. She had contacted me about 2 years ago. So the daughter works with the title company I use. So the daughter had contacted me, hey, my mom wants to sell a house. So talking to her the last couple of days, she inherited the house from the mom, which passed away. She passed away when she was like 93. And she has lived in the same house since she was 6 years old. So there is this emotional attachment to the house, like she didn't want to sell it. But right now the house is kind of falling apart, and pretty much, I mean, like everywhere is pretty much leaking, and like she didn't have the money to fix it. So she just called me last week. I was like, hey, Ralph, I'm ready to sell. So just had the contract signed. So there's a whole lot. There are two things I don't have luck with. I don't have luck with buying houses from realtors, one. I don't have luck buying houses from wholesalers, because, I mean, wholesalers, I don't know, they don't want to do anything, but they just want to make $20,000. I mean, I barely make that in my rehabs. I've only made one of the rehabs that I made probably about $80,000, but, and probably other one that I have under contract right now that I'm going to make a lot of money. But it's, I barely make. So, I mean, you can't wholesale a deal and want to make like $20,000 on one deal. I mean, come on, go rehab it if you want to make more. So it's really hard for me to deal with wholesalers, because, I mean, they feel they're just kind of entitled. They feel they're entitled, like, oh, I just have to sell it for this amount. I just have to sell it for this price. So when I started my first year doing real estate, I spent a lot of money, mailing letters, banner signs, Facebook ads, Craigslist. I mean, name it. I'm into it. I do everything. So fast forwarding right now, I've not really done anything serious in marketing in the last 1 year and a half. But because I'm out there, people just contact me for no reason. So if you're a wholesaler, I have a guy in this group that wholesale a deal to me, and he called me and said, Ralph, hey, I got this deal. I don't know what to do with it. I was like, so what do you feel if you make $5,000 with the deal? The guy was so excited. He gave me the deal. I gave him $5,000, and he was so excited. I mean, that was cool. So, but if you really want to be a successful wholesaler and make things easy for you, it's let people know what you want to make out of the deal. If you let them know, like, hey, I want to make $2,000, I want to make 5,000, I want to make 6,000 out of this deal, it's better that way than to tell someone like, oh, give me an offer, or I want to sell it for like 80,000, or I want to sell it for 100,000. Then the other guy is going to think like, oh, he probably got it for 40,000, or probably got it for 30,000. So if you're a wholesaler, you want to sell a house for $60,000. The person you're selling it to is thinking in his mind, you probably got it for 30,000. So maybe you probably got it for 58,000. Nobody knows. So just let the person know, hey, this is what I want to make from this deal. I want to make 10 grand from this deal. So, I mean, I had a guy in California, he wholesale a house for me here in Midland. I was really pissed off because he's in California. He's never saw the house. He's never been to Midland in his life. And he wholesale a deal for me in California. And it was upfront. It was like, hey, Ralph, I want to make 15 grand from this house. And I looked at the deal, you know, it didn't see the house, but guess what? We bought one house. I bought the house for 100,000. The guy got the house under contract for 85,000. Sure, he made $15,000. But guess what? The property has 2 houses on it. So I had to replat the property. I had to take this the contract. I had to, like, after buying it, I had to take it to the city to replat it. So it's 2. So I'm selling 2 properties. So guess who gained? You know. So I mean, 50,000 looks like a lot of money, but for the fact that it wasn't on ground, they didn't see the property, it would have made more money wholesaling the deal. You know, but he was upfront, you know, telling me, like, you know what, this is what I want to make from this deal. And I looked at it, run my numbers, and I went to the city and they told me, yes, we can, you know, we can go and start the process of replatting it. And if you have it under your name, yes, it's doable because it has a lot of big, I mean, it has about 14,000 square feet, and that we can split it, you know. So we split the property. So guess who gained? So, I mean, it's, so I did, I mean, all the kind of marketing you can think about, I did all of them. And we're going to start doing more right now since we have an acquisition manager.
Hey, Ralph, that was really interesting insight on the wholesalers. It's relevant to me because that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. I'm looking at this property that's so he actually told me exactly how much he's got it under contract for. He's got it under contract for 80,000 and he wants to make 20,000 off the deal. So he wants to sell it to me for 100,000, which, I mean, that seems like quite a bit for a wholesaling fee. And he's never seen the property either. He's in Michigan. But I guess, like, from your perspective, would you say, like, as long as the numbers work for me, like, give them the 20,000, like, as long as I'm going to make money off of it or whatever, like, then that wholesale fee is okay? Or would you go about it a different way?
So, I mean, I would say this, you know, it depends how desperate you are. You know, is that your first deal? I mean, do you just want to get a deal for just getting a deal's sake? I mean,
Right.
you just want to, I mean, people do all kind of stupid stuff, you know. I mean, that's the thing. I would rather not have a deal than have a bad deal. I mean, that is just my principle. I would rather not have a deal than have a bad deal. So
Yeah.
people think, oh, you need to do one rehab, then you're going to be an expert. No, it don't work like that. People think, oh yeah, I gotta do one deal, then everything is going to be all right. Bull crap. It don't work like that. So, I mean, people assume a lot of things. So people think if you do one deal and that's the end of life, that's not true. That is not true. Every house is a learning experience. Everything, it's new, it's different. You know, everything is different. You know, so one deal is not going to make you an expert. One deal is not going to make you a professional. One deal is not going to make you whatever you want to do. So I've been through all 5 years. I've done new construction. I've done, you know, I've done addition. I've added to houses. You know, so every house is different. So I've added the 2 we're finishing right now. We added the master's bathroom. It was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. The other one was a 2-bedroom. The second house was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. So we added like a full master suite, master's bedroom, you know, a master's bathroom, a walk-in shower, bathtub, and everything, and a big walk-in closet. So I mean, like, if you can do new construction, you can do anything. But I'm still learning. Trust me, I still go through the same stuff, and I still make mistakes. You know, like my guys still make mistakes, and we have to go open up the wall to still go fix stuff. I mean, you still learn every day. It's a learning process, you know. So, are you getting this deal because you just want to get one off your back? I would have done one, or do you rather lose money than doing the deal? So, I mean, think about it. So, if you run your numbers, 20,000 looks like a whole lot of money, but Is it going to be 2 properties? Does he have an addition to it? I mean, are you adding square footage? So it all depends, what you're calculating, how you're calculating your numbers.
Okay.
By itself like that, if you have to rehab it, the numbers may not work, but is it in a very good neighborhood? Like you think if you add square footage, you're probably going to make more money, I mean, so that's the deal. So there is so many things, that, some people just think, just reading a book, oh, I read this book about real estate is going to make you a real estate investor. It's not like that. But I mean, but the thing is, there is nothing wrong with, trying your hands on stuff, getting, I mean, there is nothing wrong with doing stuff. So check your number as well. The guy is in Michigan.
Yeah.
First scenario, he has the house under contract, probably has the house under contract for like $10, so he has nothing to lose.
Right.
So rather have $10,000 in his pocket than have nothing, so just keep pushing.
That's true.
Foot. So I mean, so you have an added advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to interject something on that subject. It really doesn't matter how much he makes.
No, it really doesn't matter, to be honest. It doesn't matter how much he makes.
Right. If he made 30, 40,000, it doesn't matter. If it's a good deal for you, what do you care? I mean, that to me is a limited pie syndrome, is that you think there's only so big of a pie, and if he gets part of it, you're not going to get your part. But if I wouldn't mind paying somebody $50,000 if they brought me the right deal. The trouble I have with wholesalers is most wholesalers don't know their numbers. And they don't have to know their numbers. I have to know my numbers. And so you have to know your numbers. You know what you are comfortable doing. Steve, he knows numbers inside and out. The one that's on doing the foot with. The only numbers I know is 2%. Yeah, most of you know what the 1% rule is, and that's where whatever you buy a property for, you should be able to rent it for 1% of the sales price. And I don't like that rule. I like the 2% rule. And, you can get your money back in about 4 years. That's the only number I really know. I don't know a lot about repair costs and stuff like that, so I don't buy things that are really torn up, although I have bought some things that are really tore up. And I bought, like, one property was a 1928 property, and it had a renter in it that had been in there for 10 years. They've been in there another 6 years since I've owned the property, and it's very low rent, and I can't afford to fix it up at the rent they pay, but they like it. They want it. So you got to know what you want and what your numbers are, and don't limit yourself by what the other person's making. Be happy for them if they make 20,000, as long as you make your money. Now, like Ralph said, you got to know that when you open that wall up, there could be termites in it. You might have to rebuild half the wall or something. So you go and inspect it and be happy with what you got, but don't reach for it. If it's not something that you really feel comfortable with, don't do it.
Yeah, I would have to say that there's more than enough properties that I'm running across. If you don't feel good about it, pass. To Ralph's point, there's always another deal out there.
One other thing, everybody here that doesn't have your name on your thing, if you click over on your participant, you can change your name to actually who you are, and that way we all get to know you. Like there's an iPad here, and there's an iPhone, and there's an NBL. That doesn't tell us much. We don't get to know you if you don't put your name on it. Zach, I know him from a long time ago, but even if I didn't, at least he's got his name up there so we can all see who he is. So don't be afraid to put you see my phone number with my name, because I want y'all to have my phone number so that, if you want to call me, give me a call. Don't be afraid to interact with each other. Go ahead, Ralph. I'm sorry.
Good. So, I know someone that has been in real estate for 6 months, and I was like, man, 6 months I've been in real estate and I've not made any deal, and they got a bad deal. And I was like, well, I mean, so why did you get this property? And they got the property from a realtor, and I mean, they signed it and everything. I mean, and COVID struck, and they couldn't sell the property. I mean, you refinanced at $50,000 less than the ARV value. That's really a bad deal. Really, really a bad deal. So, I mean, now the person, I mean, it's actually worse than how it was 6 months ago. I mean, because of that one bad deal. It's better not to have a deal at all, you know, than to have a bad deal. Trust me. I mean, it's, I mean, the guy that sold me the property from California, and I was so happy. It still calls me to, I mean, it calls me like pretty much every 2 weeks. Hey, Ralph, I have something cooking. Ralph, I have something cooking. Because I mean, the deal was so smooth and so fine. You know, I didn't give him any stress. You know, like, you know, he got his $15,000. And when I sent him pictures of the house, the guy was almost like ballistic. Like, oh wow, like crazy. I was like, I wish I was in Milan. I would have done that deal myself. You know, so I mean, the money they actually a wholesaler makes doesn't. I care less as long as my numbers works. You know, as long as my numbers works. But if I have better chances of, you know, getting a deal when I deal with the seller directly. If I talk to the seller directly, you know, I mean, I have 99.9% of getting that deal. I have that property than, you know, just maybe going to a realtor or going to a wholesaler.
Hey, Ralph, talking about numbers, do you have a buying formula? I mean, and can you share that number? And does it work in Midland or Odessa area for you?
Well, it depends. I mean, usually within, when I got started, I put myself, because I mean, I didn't, like I didn't know what I was doing, you know, so I know, I mean, I kind of attended a lot of boot camps, you know, did a lot of repair estimates, you know. My first year in business, I probably went through more than 80 houses, you know, just doing repair estimates and just doing, so I did it over and over and over again, that I can just walk through a house without even writing anything down. And I can actually guesstimate, you know, how much it's going to cost to fix the house. And I'll be within, you know, 2,000 to 5,000 price range, plus or minus. That's how good I became, you know. So, but anyways, what was the question again?
A buy formula, you know, some people say.
Oh yeah, so then I was within, you know, buying. I mean, within the 40,000. I mean, $40 a price foot range. You know, I know if I'm within the $40 a price foot range, then usually my repairs is about, you know, $45 to $50 a price foot. I mean, $50 or $45 to $50 to repair it. But if it involves, you know, putting new AC units in there and, you know, doing the entire plumbing or changing roof or redoing the roof, then I'm probably going to bump that to about $60 or $65 a square foot to fix it. You know, so all in all, you know, if I go in and out of it, you know, about $100 or $110 a square foot, usually I'm good. I know like most of the houses in Midland sell around $150 a square foot. So usually, like, you know, by the time I'm done with it, you know, if it's within, you know, $100, $110 a square foot, usually I'm fine. So even if I sell the house at $140, I mean, $140 a square foot, I'm still good, you know. So I mean, that's just my range. I mean, it just makes my life much easier that way.
Thank you.
Did I know what was it like last year when all the Corona came in? All the material, like the 2x4s, all the wood and stuff, did that affect your cost on the projects at all?
Well, it actually didn't affect me personally, but my contractors were crying. I mean, we had the deal, we had the contract, you know, so they were the one crying, you know. And it didn't affect me because I don't buy 2x4s. What will I do with it?
Yeah.
So we already had the price for them to fix it. So, and they go buy it. The price just went up. Oh, the price just went up. Oh, okay, but you're gonna have to. So, no, it didn't affect me.
I got you.
I had a question. How do you fund your deals if it's something you can share?
If
Is it
something
private
is what?
money? How do you fund your deals? Is it private money or is it bank or personal cash, or how do you fund these deals? Because they're expensive, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing. So that's one of the things prior to me doing real estate, I never owed any debt. Like, I mean, like zero debt. Like I ate owing money. So my credit card, my revolving credit card and everything, if I can't pay off, so let's say if I use a credit card and go to the store to go buy something, and the bill is due on the 20th, I make sure, like, I pay everything I owe on that credit card on the 20th. So I don't have any revolving, like I don't pay like half of it or pay some part of it. So I ate debt, but so one of these, I mean, that's how I grew up, that's how, I mean, like, I don't buy stuff like I don't have the money. I remember my first car I bought, the car was like $25,000. But because of this credit thing, you have to build your credit and all whatnot. So I bought the car, then after 1 month I paid it off. So I hate debt, So, but I struggled with that, like when I got started, I had this weight on my head. I don't know if this is going to help anybody. I had this weight on my head that how I'm going to fund my deals, because I hate debt, So I didn't know how to go about that. But when I realized, when I got the concept, like, the money is actually not the problem. Trust me, if you're doing real estate business, as long as the numbers work out and there's meat on the bone, the money is going to be the least of your problem. The money is absolutely going to be the least of your problem. I have lenders calling me at least every 2 weeks, sending me emails every week. Hey, Ralph, we've not heard from you. Ralph, we need, I mean, you do deals with them, they call you, sir, they thank you for, for giving them this opportunity to help, I mean, to work with you, because they need money too, so I use all of them. I use private money, I use hard money lenders, I use the bank, I use the whole, I mean, I'm a master of debt now, so I mean, I'm not even scared. I'm not borrowing money right now because I know the money is going to be there. So, I mean, right now I have a partner that has the cash, but the cash, he has a lot of cash in his hand, like about $1 million. But I mean, right now I'm working him through the process of, leveraging that $1 million, So instead of using that $1 million to do 2 or 3 deals, so you can use that $1 million to do like 50 deals, so we leverage other people's money too. So it was blown away. So I've never used my cash to do any of my deals before. That's just the simple truth. So if people know you in this business, I have a lady right now that she gave me the first time somebody introduced me to her. She was like, well, the lady has a brother that lives there in Midland, and the brother is my friend. So, and she has this cash, just sitting down there in the bank. And she was like, she was trying to invest it. And so she met the brother, and the brother was like, well, there is only one person I can go meet in Midland, is Ralph. If you can give anybody the money and you can go to sleep, it's Ralph. So they came to me. I was like, hey, Ralph, we have this cash to use, do you need cash in your business? I was like, yes, I need some cash. So I was thinking it's like maybe $20,000 or $25,000. And by the time they wrote the check, it was like $250,000. I was like, whoa, hold on right there. So so I walked her through the process of, open up a business and everything. So she is like one of my best private money right now. So right now I have $500,000 of her money, like right now with me, investing. So it's so I do all of them. I do private money, I do hard money lender, I do wherever the money comes from. But the money is, trust me, money is the least of your problem. Getting the deals is actually more difficult than getting the money. If you get the deals, if you get the deal, the money is going to show forth.
How big of a role do inspectors play when you're buying and selling homes? Will the city send over?
What role does
Sorry?
inspector do?
Yes, sir. Like, well, because the house has to be inspected, correct? Before selling it?
Yeah, it depends. It depends. If let's say you buy a house, I mean the repairs is just mostly cosmetics. You don't have to go through any inspector or anything. I mean, like you mean the buyer's inspector or like the city inspector? I mean, I don't, which inspector are you talking about?
I was thinking city inspector.
Oh no, so it depends. So if you're going to be tearing down walls, or if you're going to be doing any of the three major stuff, electrical, plumbing, or mechanical, you're going to need the city inspector if you're going to be tearing down walls. So, but if you, let's say you buy a house, there's a house we bought within, like, it was mostly cosmetics, just painting, changing floors, changing toilets, just, we didn't need an inspector. We didn't need an inspector for anything. So we're just changing light switches, changing light bulbs, so you don't need inspectors for that. Or let's say you're going to be changing doors, you don't need inspectors to change a door. But if you say you're going to have like open up some walls to have like an open concept and stuff like that, then you need inspectors to check the framing and all whatnot, Then if you have to do plumbing, like, you need inspector, like, so. But if it's just mostly cosmetics, you don't need inspector.
Ralph, I have a question on the inspector portion of it. If so you're using private money to purchase these homes. Mm-hmm. Obviously you don't need an inspector to go purchase that home. Do you have an inspector on your team though that you send in to, crawl through the crawl spaces and get in the attics and give you an evaluation? Or are you doing that all, yourself?
Okay, so I have there was a guy, Patrick White or Patrick White or whatever, is a regular inspector. So the guy did, so my first, I can't remember my first or second house we sold. So this was like the buyer's inspector. He came to the house, this guy did a thorough job. Like, he went through the crawl space, the attic, he went through everything, So I saw the thorough job he did, for, I was like, so how much does this cost? So I think they paid $400 or $300. I can't remember. But anyway, so I had a deal with him, so all he does is like, have a walk in any property we buy. So it only cost me $100. So, but we don't have that massive report. The only thing I don't have the reports, like, this is bad. So all he does is like go around the properties and anything. I mean, I'm not talking about like a scratch on the wall, not cosmetic stuff, like any major thing, So it takes the picture and sends it to me. So that's all. So I do that for $100. So that's all I do. So any property we buy, I just send this guy, hey, this is the address. And they go there, he goes there, takes picture, like major stuff, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, I mean, maybe termite damage, some water damage, stuff like that, any major stuff, but not cosmetic stuff. I mean, painting, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the inspector reports before. They have like a lot of garbage inside. Oh, this door scratch, this door is not opening, there is no door stopper on this, I mean, not that, I mean, I'm not talking about stuff like that.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a better idea than what I've been doing, because I've been paying for those more extensive reports. And although, I mean, I guess it's kind of nice, but it's more geared towards a homeowner, not an investor. So I might have to try to chase down that guy that you're using, because that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, let me know. Send me a text or put my number here. Send me a text or something. I'll send you the guy's contact.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I use it. I use him all the time. It's just $100. I think when we started, it's like something maybe 120 an hour, but usually it doesn't take him more than an hour to do it, but because he's doing a lot and I introduce other investor to him, so we've gotten to a point where it's just like $100 flat fee.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, Ralph.
Hey, Cynthia.
Hi. I was going to tell you guys, I don't know, for people that have existing businesses, there's still loan money out there available because of COVID-19 through the SBA. I was able to procure $44,000, and it's a 30-year loan, 3.75%, and no payments for the first year. So there's some money that way too for some deals for people that have businesses.
Can you give us some insight on what the requirements were?
They looked at how much money I was losing every month on my rentals because of being hit by first the oil field crashing and then the COVID. So it wasn't, the documentation is it's not real stringent.
No,
they don't look real hard at you.
But be careful. It depends what you're getting. You're getting the SBA or you're getting the PPP loan. So I'll advise you guys go for the PPP loan. The SBA one, there might be, I've seen friends that took the SBA loan and they got deals or something that the bank has to finance, and it came back to hurt them. Find out like, hey, you're distressed, you collected an SBA loan. So you either have to pay back the SBA loan to get the other loan for the other bank. So
yeah, the PPP loans can only be used for payroll. So
no, you don't have to. Like somebody like me, I pay contractors, so
right.
I have 1099s I issue to contractors, so it's I immediately qualify for the PPP loan. So.
There you go.
So you don't have to have like yeah, so just there's the catch to, because some of the things you sign, you get the loan, you get the money. For sure. The SBA loan is one of the easiest. It takes you 5 minutes to fill up all the information, and within 3 days or something, they'll make a payment in your account. Depends on how many employees you say you have. If you have 4 employees, give you $4,000. So I think it's like $1,000 per employee. So like 10 is the limit. So you get all those cash like easily. But in real estate, those cash is going to go like this. It's not going to even be enough to rehab a whole house.
Hey, Ralph, how do you set up your entity for flipping? Do you have a Fred way? Is it like a C Corp, LLC, or how is it set up?
So I have an S Corp for my active business. Then I have another S Corp too for my rentals. So it's kind of separate. I kind of separate my rentals from my active business. So I have S Corp. I didn't know about all these, it was, I had a company that set it up for me. Then it was during my MBA that I started knowing stuff about S Corp or which Corp or LLC or whatever. So I have no clue before.
Thank you.
Hey, Travis, what's your last name?
Carter.
You said Charger?
Carter,
Oh,
C-A-R-T-E-R.
Carter? Okay. All right, I'm sending it right now.
Thank you.
Hey Lee,
Yes.
how much what are y'all still lacking on that project over there on that house y'all renovating?
Too much. I wish it was done now, just because I'd like to get it on the market. We got the garage to do. We got the garage door on, but as far as fixing up the garage, we've only done some minor sheetrock. We haven't taped it or anything like that. There's a lot that needs to be done in it yet. You know, if we jumped on it, probably 2 or 3 days worth of stuff. It's not that much. It's just that we haven't gotten to it. We went, matter of fact, I told Steve last week, I said, any warm days, I'm going to go in the garage and start working in there so we don't have a lot done. Because every time it's cold, we go inside the house. We got a heater in there, you know. One of the warm days, we got the shed done just because, you know, when it's warm, you want to work outside, get all that stuff done. If you kind of juggle your days, you can have pretty good working conditions, but if you neglect it, then you're going to end up working when it's cold and you don't want to. We planted pansies back in November, I think, maybe early December, because when we get ready to sell it, there will be nothing on the market of color. And so we're just watering those every 2 weeks, twice a week, to keep them alive during the winter, so that just before we buy it, we're going to buy, you know, like shrubs and stuff for the front, but those won't have color. And so they'll be brand new. We don't want to buy them now because then we'll have to water them to the winter. And, you know, if it gets cold, it could damage the leaves. We've got all the windows. We got to clean up and paint the metal on them. Got the master bathroom. We got to finish it. It's probably got, if we worked on it solid, maybe a week worth of work. The kitchen, we're bringing in all the cabinets and stuff. All the bathrooms have to have toilets and bathrooms, you know, the vanities and stuff. Most of the stuff's sitting in the garage. But it's just a work in progress. Optimistically, we would hope to have it done by spring break, but neither one of us think we're going to have it done by that time. We think we probably, and that's kind of a question mark, probably have it done sometime in April, definitely by May. So if we hadn't had such good financing terms on it, we'd probably be sweating, but you know, we got 0% interest.
Yeah, I got
I
got a good deal on that one.
You don't really you want to do it as fast as you can. You don't want to goof off, but yeah, it's going good. Steve is really, really smart. So, and he's really talented. So I'm learning a ton of stuff.
Did you end up doing that addition y'all were talking about?
That'll be one of the last things we'll do.
Okay, but y'all are gonna do that? Y'all gonna close that up?
Yeah, well, yeah, we figure that'll probably take 2, maybe 3 days. We got to get a permit for it. You know, you got to get permits for what you need to, and
yeah, cool deal.
Sarah, I'm glad you came tonight. Glad to see you. Glad to put a face to your name.
Yes, I'm really glad that I got to hop on here, and I am soaking everything in. So I know I was curious, Ralph, how did you get your first property funded, and how long did it take you to flip that one for your first?
So my first deal, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't know what to do with it. I mean, I knew it was a good deal. We had it under contract for about 50,000 or 55,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2 baths, about 1250 square foot. We got it under contract for, I think, about 55,000 or something like that. But we ended up closing on it for 42,000. So it's a 3-bedroom, 2 baths. So one of the bathroom was not used. They used it as storage. So the bathroom got clogged up. I knew it was a good buy because it's on Loma. I don't know if you're used to Midland, but it's on Loma Drive. It's off of Big Spring. So it's on the west side of Big Spring. So it's in a very good neighborhood too, but the house was just kind of not taken care of at all. So we plan to rehab it, so because we got like 4 more properties after that one, and they were like easy stuff to do. So we just kind of left that one to the side. So, but when I got like a private money, that was going to, fund me with this huge sum of money. I don't know if you were listening. So I was like, I just had the idea, you know what, let's just tear this down and just rebuild it. So, because houses in the neighborhood were selling for like 400,000. So we rebuilt the house from scratch. We spent about 190,000 to rebuild it from scratch. A 4-bedroom, 2 baths, 233 square feet. And we sold it for 368.
Okay, thank you.
So I mean, if you get a good deal, the thing is, for starters, I mean, you might not get everything like together, but like when you get it like a deal, but just know some few numbers, know like the range at which you're buying from. If you know the range at which you're buying, so at the end of the day, when we bought that our first deal, when we bought it, it was more like we're buying the land, a piece of land. I think the land was almost about 9,000 square feet. There was a guy that had like an Italian restaurant across the street. They wanted to buy the piece of property to just tear it down to use it for parking. So, but the lady, and they were going to pay more, but the lady didn't sell to them because they're going to tear it down parking. And so imagine your childhood home, you've lived there for 26 years, there is this attachment to that property, So the lady actually sold it to me at a cheaper price than the guy that wanted to buy it because I was going to fix it, So, I mean, the clarity of what you're going to do might not be there or exactly what you're going to do. But the only thing I know is like, if it's a good buy, it's going to be a good sell. You can't make any mistakes. So just act, just go with your guts.
And I'll say that, Sarah, it sounds like you're pretty new. And so anybody that's on this call, if y'all find a deal and you don't think you can handle it, take it to Ralph. If you get $1,000 and Ralph shows you how he walks through the deal and he takes the deal from you, he'll make money. You may get 1,000 or 2 for bringing it to him, but then he can show you how he does it and all his systems and stuff. And, maybe you bring him 2 or 3 deals. And then after that, maybe you feel confident enough to have Ralph just look over your shoulder while you actually do a deal. There's ways to get in this without money and without much risk, because if you bring it to Ralph and it's not a good deal, he won't do the deal. And so you'll learn, oh, well, okay, this is not a good deal. Ralph, what is a good deal? So, step in there and step up and rely on people like Ralph that can evaluate. Steve can evaluate property, the one I'm doing the deal with.
Oh, Steve, sorry, Lee.
Go ahead.
Thank you for mentioning Steve. Steve was like, oh gosh, I don't know what I'll do without Steve, to be honest with you. Steve was like the only person that actually helped me out. I didn't know anybody that was doing this business. I didn't know anybody that was doing this flip. But ever since Lee introduced me to Steve, I was calling Steve pretty much every 2 minutes. I was texting him, asking him questions. What do I do with this? Can you come and look this out? Can you come take a look at this? What do we do with this wall? What's this? This is center block. How do you do with it? I got to a point Steve was tired of it wasn't like kind of picking up my calls. So, if you need to do that, do that. Steve was helpful. Steve was helpful to my first hard money lender. And it takes me a couple of hard money lenders. And the very first one I called, they treated me like a king. Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, very good, sir. Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, yeah. Thank you for having your business. Thank you. And I'm the one borrowing money. So it's, Steve was very helpful. So you guys don't be scared. Don't be scared on doing stuff, man. If you see any deal, just know your numbers. Try to know your numbers. If it's a good buy today, it's going to be a good buy tomorrow. So that's just it.
So do you do any of the rehab yourself, or do you have, I know you mentioned you had some contractors, but do you do any of the work on your own, or do you have like a project manager?
Oh no, I'm the project manager myself right now. So I still have a lot of stuff to learn. I've never done anything myself. I've never done tiles, anything. But when I walk into a house, I know what is good and what is bad. So, I can tell when a work is going like really bad and I can stop them. The only thing I do is just sweep. I do a lot of sweeping.
What was your experience with contractors in the area? Just as a homeowner, I've run into flaky contractors. So what's your, experience with contractors in the area?
Well, contractors are the worst nightmare you ever get. they are the worst. But I've been so fortunate, I have one major contractor I've been using for about 2 years now. I've been so lucky, this guy is, I have a crew. I have 2 crews right now. The guys are from El Paso. So one of the things I did early in my business, I knew Cole is not on this line. He knows Cole. Cole sold me a house in 2019. I think it's February of 2019. It's just outside right there in the outside of the city limit. So I figured out early, I'm going to need a place like that, to have as my business headquarters. So I bought that place and I didn't have any use for it. So I just have my contractor staying there. So I pretty much have like a leverage, they're just staying there. They're not paying rent. They're not paying. The first 6 months they lived there, I was paying the bills. I was paying the electricity bill, I was paying the water bill. But ever since last year, they're just staying there for free. So that's kind of the leverage I have with them. So they're always there for me when I need them. So if you know you want to be in this business, you're going to have to look for leverages. You have to look for a way to leverage. If you know guys are good, you have to look for a way to leverage them. If not, they're going to be gone.
Thank you.
Off subject. Everybody look at Lucero's background. I love that background. We were playing around last time or the time before, and before the meeting started, about 6 o'clock, and everybody started putting different backgrounds on. So I think what I'll do, I'll send an email out to everybody in the group and have everybody bring their favorite backgrounds to the next meeting. And maybe y'all can sign in early so you can tell why it's your favorite background and a little story behind it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lee. Yes, my background is a picture I took of my fish tank, and that is why I love my background. So I won't have to talk next week.
How do you get the backgrounds on there?
Backgrounds on there.
I'm on my iPhone, like, because I'm on my iPhone, you go into the more settings and it has a list and it'll say virtual background. And then, let's see, I think because you couldn't add the plus button if you don't have anything in there. And I got mine off of my camera roll, the pictures that I took, because that is a picture of my fish tank, like I said earlier. So if you have saved pictures in your photo album, you could pick a picture from there or find a picture from anywhere and save it to your photo album.
If you're doing it on the computer, wiggle your mouse and you'll see in the lower left-hand corner, it says stop video, and there's a little triangle. Click on the triangle and you'll see choose virtual background, and you can click that and then you'll see a picture of a background. And same with Lucero, you know, you can download or upload a picture of what you like instead of using theirs. I'll change mine next week. It'll be another ocean one because I like Hawaii. I like being around the ocean. Way out here in the desert, right? So y'all work on that while we're, between now and the next meeting, because I'm definitely going to put that out. I think that'd be neat. Everybody having a different background.
Yeah, that would be neat. Be interesting.
There you go, Ralph.
Just trying one out. That's my wife's business.
Oh, very cool.
Hey, it's pretty. What is your wife's business?
Oh, this is just a non-profit. It's called Gracie's Table.
Oh.
Non-profit what?
It's a non-profit. She kind of helps people that goes through abuse, you know, helps them to, you know, to learn a trade, you know, to do something, you know, to do something by themselves. It's
very cool.
That's neat.
Let me see how it looks like. Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I guess you'll be glad. Okay, guys. Any other question? I don't know.
No.
I have.
If I have any questions later, I'll just get with Lee for your contact information. I'm sure he'll help me get a hold of you.
All right, I have this video to play. I mean, it's a little bit motivational. I don't know if it's going to help, but I don't know if I don't know, Lee. We have it's about 5 minutes long.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay, so let me play this real quick. It's about 5 minutes long. I mean, it can. Uh-oh. Did I start sharing already? No. What did I do? Oh, there you go. Where is it? There you go.
But showing you want it bad will. Talking about it will not get you